Hello and welcome to our video guide for a very powerful Archmage build. The new Shock Nova of Procession creates 3 rings, 1 around you and 2 repeats towards a desired direction, which usually yields at least 2 overlaps, although hitting with all 3 rings is possible too. It also has 0.25 seconds of base cast time, making it the fastest spell in the game. To offset those properties, it deals a lower amount of base damage paired with rather low effectiveness of added damage compared to the regular Shock Nova. However, this penalty is not significant enough. By adding lots of flat damage from other sources, such as Spellblade or Archmage, it quickly becomes one of the strongest spells in the game. The Archmage support grants you tons of lightning damage based on your unreserved mana. Your mana will also absorb a portion of the incoming damage and grant you extra energy shield on top of that. However, it doesn't scale your damage further, so you still have to use the conventional methods. The mana costs are very hard to sustain during continuous usage. You will have to use Lavianga's Spirit or Val Clarity to burst down bosses. Thanks to the new Catal's Geyser Amulet, your mana flask lasts for the entire duration, and the effect of Arcane Surge can be improved by flask effect modifiers. You can cast your Nova over 20 times a second, and each cast will repeat 3 or 4 times. The rings are very easy to overlap, hitting your enemies multiple times. Even your movement skill will deal a significant amount of damage. The build can easily take a large hit or two, but struggles with continuous intake of damage due to a lack of avoidance or meaningful mitigation. Taking damage also depletes your mana, which can limit your DPS, so you should avoid getting hit at all. The clear speed is amazing, thanks to the large area coverage and very fast mobility. You can also easily add explosions at a higher budget. The damage is bursty and requires proper positioning, but the potential is insanely high. This build has nearly limitless scaling options and can be very expensive to optimize, but the base setup is very cheap and can be played at a minimal budget to start your journey in a new league. There are plenty of unique items you can use, but none of them is truly required to enable the core interactions of this build. The unique jewels can be especially powerful and equally expensive. Mind Spiral grants plenty of mana, but also provides valuable recoup and extra energy shield on top of that. You can corrupt it to gain extra power charges. The Ravenous Passion simply provides 30% more damage for spells, as you will generate rage nearly instantly. The additional strength is also quite useful and saves you a suffix elsewhere. Indigon easily doubles your damage output, but requires pressing your unique mana flask every 4 seconds to remove the mana costs. It is a viable option if you only farm bosses, but it is not recommended for regular gameplay. The Pledge of Hands grants you an extra greater spell Echo Gem, which is insanely valuable even at level 1. This option saves you the headache of crafting 2 wands and allows you to wear the replica Chaom's Heart. If you don't need a 6-link setup in your body armor, you can use the replica Chaom's Heart armor instead. It provides a large amount of maximum mana. Cloak of Defiance grants plenty of mana and tons of extra regeneration. The 1% of your maximum mana doesn't sound like much, but it is almost half of your base regeneration. With the Tides of Time Belt sustaining your flasks at all times is very easy, which is much more useful than regular modifiers on a rare belt. It will also boost your Arcane Surge buff if you wear the relevant amulet. This amulet improves your Arcane Surge and makes the mana flasks more reliable. You can even wear the Indigon helmet if you don't mind pressing the mana flask very often, but it is not recommended for general gameplay. The Atsiri's Foible amulet offers simpler bonuses in the form of mana and regeneration, while also lowering the requirements for attributes. Remember to use mana catalysts to make it even better. The Anathema ring is an easy way to obtain additional curses, which greatly improve your damage. You can corrupt it to gain more useful implicit, such as extra resistance or immunity against bleeding. There are lots of valuable combinations. You can interchange Wrath and Zealotry Aura depending on the modifiers you obtain here. The Clarity modifiers are also extremely useful for defense. You can include level 1 Precision or Vitality on top of that to enable even more modifiers. Healthy Mind lowers your maximum life, but grants a lot of extra damage in return. You should socket it near the Cruel Preparation notable. The Light of Meaning also has plenty of good variants to choose from. The lightning damage is the best for pure DPS. The critical strike chance is slightly worse for that, but it is much cheaper. Lastly, the maximum mana offers the least amount of damage, but also provides defense. With the Unnatural Instinct jewel, you can amplify the effects of nearby socketed Light of Meaning, while also picking up valuable small passive skills that grant you a bit of cast speed and area of effect. You can use the Inner Conviction keystone granted by the Militant Faith jewel to gain free damage, as this build has no means to generate frenzy charges anyway. Make sure it is converted by High Templar Dominus and doesn't replace your other useful notables. The Clarity Aura is only worth using if you have a good Watcher's Eye modifier for it. In other cases, you should boost your Wrath or Zealotry instead with the Sublime Vision jewel. Your priority is getting lots of mana, but you still have to cap your elemental and chaos resistance. You also can't ignore maximum life entirely, although it is not as important as usual, thanks to large amounts of energy shield and mana protecting it. To improve your damage, other than stacking mana, you should look for critical strikes, faster cast speed, and spell damage modifiers. Only the additional gem levels are not useful here. On your wands, you will need mana, spell damage, critical strikes, and cast speed, all in large quantities. You can also get some extra damage on top of that. A rare shield provides less damage, but offers valuable block chance and extra energy shield to keep you safe. Alternatively, you can get ailment avoidance here to become fully immune eventually. You will move a lot using the Frost Blink of Wintry Blast, but plenty of movement speed is still useful here for more precise maneuvers. You can also get the Onslaught buff or remaining ailment avoidance here. Your gloves are very basic. You will need lots of life, mana, and resistances. Use the Eldritch Implicits to apply Unnerve and Lightning exposure on hit. Life Leech is also a good option if you can't afford the Cluster Jewel yet. Your ring can grant you plenty of cast speed or extra minimum frenzy or endurance charge. Other than that, look for the usual defensive modifiers. A rare belt can provide plenty of basic modifiers. The Cord Belt is the best option, but it is also quite expensive. You will want to use the unique belt later on. The jewels are the best source of critical strike multiplier. Try to mix at least 2 such modifiers in here. Pair it up with bonuses to maximum life or mana. The lightning notables are very important. Doriani's Lesson grants you Life Leech, Storm Drinker provides Energy Shield Leech, while the Scintillating Idea is the best for pure DPS. Lavianga's Spirit makes your skills free to use during its short effect, which allows you to recover your mana while bursting down enemies. With the Katal's Geyser, it lasts for the entire duration. The Oriath's End boosts your clear speed by exploding your enemies. It also provides plenty of elemental resistances. If you use the Tides of Time belt, it should always be active. Bottled Faith is the best flask to improve your damage and critical strikes. The large consecrated ground also provides quite valuable life regeneration and curse effect reduction on you. You will need a Quicksilver Flask to boost your mobility, and a Diamond Flask to improve your critical strikes. Keep in mind, you won't have easy access to bleeding removal without a Life Flask. Shock Nova of Procession creates a ring of lightning around you, which repeats 2 additional times, moving slightly towards the targeted location. The Greater Spell Echo is obviously a massive upgrade for your damage, but it is adequately expensive. Thanks to the Intensify support, you will have great area coverage during clearing and good overlaps when fighting bosses. Arcane Cloak is a guard skill that absorbs incoming damage, while also granting you plenty of bonus lightning damage, depending on the mana consumed. Frost Shield creates an icy bubble that greatly improves your critical strike chance and absorbs damage from outside sources. The automation will trigger the Arcane Cloak whenever it is ready, but the Frost Shield has to be used manually. The Enhance provides minor upgrade and requires extra dexterity if you want to push it further. Elemental Weakness is a curse that lowers all elemental resistances of affected foes. Conductivity lowers the lightning resistances even more. It can be used only if you raise the curse limit with the Anathema Ring. Assassin's Mark improves your critical strike chance and multiplier while also generating extra power charges. Use the Arcanist brand to apply all curses seamlessly. It is only useful against the most challenging bosses, and you can cast it before the combat begins. Frostblink of Wintry Blast is a quick spell that teleports you a short distance. It has no cooldown and scales with your cast speed. Use the Archmage support here as well to improve your clear speed. You can also use the spell Echo support, but it makes your movement less predictable. Zealotry improves your critical strike chance and damage with spells. You can also use Wrath instead if you have beneficial Watcher's Eye modifiers. The Eternal Blessing makes the linked aura free to cast and improve its effect, but you cannot have other auras that reserve mana. Clarity in this setup barely provides any mana. Keep it at level 1 just to enable beneficial Watcher's Eye modifiers or to activate the Vial version. To bypass the restrictions of the Blessing Gem, you will have to reserve life with the Arrogance support instead. You can also include Precision or Vitality auras here. You should kill all 3 bandits for 1 additional skill point, but helping Alira might be a very good idea too at start. Pick the Soul of the Brine King as your major Pantheon power to become immune to freeze and avoid getting stunned too often. The Minor Soul of Ralakesh greatly reduces the need for the bleeding removal on your flask, but you can freely exchange it for something else if needed. The leveling process is very easy. The Shock Nova requires level 28, so you will have to use any other spell of your liking. After the recent buffs, the Stormbrand and Orb of Storms make a very good early combination. You can start using the Archmage support as you acquire it at level 31, just the moments after unlocking the Shock Nova. From that moment, your campaign progression should be very smooth if you pick any mana on the passive tree for it. For more leveling tips and adjusted passive tree progression, visit the written guide on the website linked in video description. The final passive tree is very simple. You will obviously need a lot of mana. Remember that not sustaining your mana cost is a massive loss of damage, so you shouldn't skip on the recovery investments. The mana mastery that recovers mana on skill use is very effective thanks to your insane cast speed. The percentage mana cost reduction is also very impactful, but might not be needed early on. The Hierophant is ideal ascendancy for this setup. It improves your mana and grants extra energy shield, area of effect, and a bit of damage based on it. The Arcane Blessing adds 20% more spell damage bonus to your Arcane Surge, which scales with the buff effect. You will also have Permanent 4 Endurance and Power charges, which you can raise even more with further investments. Do not pick the Agnostic Keystone before you acquire the Militant Faith Jewel. It can be used during the campaign for extra sustain, but reserving any amount of life will completely drain your mana instead. We hope this guide has inspired you to give this build a try and answered all your inquiries about it. If you have any questions left, ask them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.